Hey everyone, I'm the discussion director for this week. So I thought of 5 questions that have to do with the readings, and I'm just going to give like a little explanation, the questions, and a little bit of my thoughts on the questions. So the first question that I thought of was, do you think that the detective has good intentions? Why or why not? For me, I feel like the intentions aren't that great, because I don't know, I just get like a really weird vibe from her, and the fact that she's kind of like following Fabiola around ever since Fabiola has gotten there, and it just kind of feels awkward. And when Fabiola called her to tell her about Dre, and the only thing, like in the very end, the only thing she was worried about was that wasn't information that she could use, and she needed Fabiola to get her something that she could actually use. Like, just might not feel like she really cares about what Fabiola has to go through in order to get her that information. So I don't know if her intentions are that great. The next question I have is it possible that the work her aunt does is connected to Uncle Q and the drugs? So the detective brings up, when she's talking to Fabiola in the restaurant, brings up the girl who went to the local college who overdosed on drugs and passed away, and how they think that the drugs are connected to Dre, and Dre is connected to Uncle Q and the club, and how Kasim said that he owns that whole block and everything. Last discussion we were talking about Aunt Jo, and that we think that she has something to do, like her work is somehow illegal, maybe possibly related to drugs. The first thing that I thought of when the detective was talking about that was, I think that it could be related, just for the fact that no one really wants to talk about the drugs, and they always say to not talk about the girl, not talk about what happened to her, not talk about any of that. So like everyone wants to like keep it really quiet. So I think that there could be some possibility that they're related, and they don't want anyone to talk about it or find out, because then it would get them all in trouble. The third question I have is, do you believe that Aunt Jo has exhausted all options of getting her sister back, so Fabiola's mom? I thought of this question in the very end, because when Fabiola is talking to her about how she talked to her mom and she needs to do everything she can to try and get her mom back, Aunt Jo becomes very like angry and doesn't want to talk about it, and everyone always just keeps saying, oh, she's working on it, she's working on getting your mom back, but every time we talk to Aunt Jo, she said that there's nothing she can do, that she's exhausted all of her options. I don't really believe that that's what's happening, because of the call that Fabiola made to her mom. Her mom was like, is Aunt Jo trying? Is she getting money over here? I need the best lawyers. Like, I need that kind of stuff. So it sounded like, from her mom's perspective and where her mom is, that her aunt really hasn't tried anything. I'm obviously not saying that her aunt hasn't tried anything, but I feel like there's some backstory between them. And Aunt Jo might feel kind of like she doesn't have to help her, because she's helped so much, and she tried helping her by having her stay when Fabiola was born, like she tells Fabiola, but her mom didn't. She ended up taking Fabiola back to Haiti, so I think that there could be like some bad blood there. So like maybe she has tried to get her back, but she hasn't tried everything she could, is what my perspective. The next question is, Donna says her and Dre would fight for each other, but in your opinion, do you believe this is true? I believe that Donna would do anything for Dre, and that Donna would always fight for Dre, but I don't feel like Dre would do the same for Donna, because of how he acted when Fabiola's friend was with her in the car, and Kasim was at the cafe that he was working at, and Dre came and said that he would take them all home. The way he was kind of hitting on Fabiola's friend, and Fabiola was like, oh, she doesn't want to do that, like she doesn't feel uncomfortable, and you could tell that she was uncomfortable in the situation, and he just kept pushing. So I think he's very much of a player, and even though Donna would fight for him and do anything for him, I believe there is a point where Dre would not fight back for Donna. And the last question is, what about Fabiola's relationship with Kasim is different from her relationships with the other characters, and why is this important? So I feel like her relationship with Kasim is very different than her relationship with the other characters, because Kasim actually pays attention to her and does things because he thinks she would be interested in it. Like, the date they went on, he was noticing little things that she liked and thought, oh, I'll do this because she likes it. It's things that she likes. Like, he's putting in the effort to do things that she wants, and he saw that when he first said that he was going to go do something with Dre and they were going to have dinner together another night, that it kind of made Fabiola upset. And so then he called Dre back and was like, no, never mind, like, cancel it. So he's doing things for Fabiola. And I think that this is important because he's seeming like the only person who actually is taking the time to get to know her and do things for her. Even though she's with her family is always just dragging her to do things that they want to do and telling her where to be and what to do and what she can't do and what she can do, people she can talk to, people she shouldn't talk to, that kind of thing, where Kasim is just doing things for her and doing things because she's interested in it, or because he's trying to impress her and make her feel special. And I think that's really important because of how lonely she feels being here by herself. So those are my questions. And the topics to be carried over to the next discussion, I was going to say the relationship between Fabiola's mom and her Aunt Jo. I think this is something that we should dig down deeper into. And then if Fabiola helping the detective will get her in more trouble than she's able to get out of this time, because last time she just kind of ran out when she realized, like, she probably shouldn't be there, when she was at the club with Dre. So will working with this detective get her into positions that she's not able to get out of as quickly and just make her life harder, basically. So yeah, that's all I have. I'd love to hear your guys' responses. Just if you pick like 1 or 2 questions and just type out your response, or do a video response. But yeah, thank you.